Well, hi, hello, and thanks for joining me here in my shop. So I've kind of looked everything over here, and I know this radio already works, so I'm not too anxious to start replacing parts in the receiver. But one of the last things that happened with this radio is it started snapping, popping, and clicking for some reason. A little bit of investigation I did, which amounted to pulling out the first audio tube in the amplifier, made that sound go away. I think it's coming from the receiver, so I want to investigate that. So I plan to turn on the radio, listen to the clicks and pops, and then use a signal tracer or some other method to try to nail down just what it is that's clicking or popping. If it's still doing that, of course. Maybe it's not. Okay, so I'm just looking everything over here, make sure it's all safe and ready to go. Let's see. I've only got about a half an hour this morning. A very, very busy weekend here. So let's give it a go. Okay, so dim lights indicate everything's normal. Good show. There's the popping. It's not really a good show, but okay, first of all, volume have any effect? I would certainly say no. Now we could start popping some tubes out and see what happens. You know what? A good tube to pop out would be the detector tube right here to start with. Ah, she's clicking really good. Excellent. Ooh, that's really good. Okay, so I'm just knocking down the supply voltage, and all that goes away. It kind of suggests that it's something to do with high voltage. That's what I would think. So we're going to flip it off briefly here, because I really don't like pulling tubes in and out while the set is operating. Put it back on. Are you going to click for me now? Well, it's gone awfully quiet, hasn't it? So that suggests to me it's either this tube or something ahead of it between the antenna and that tube. Okay, let's just keep going here. Let's put this back in. Now the order of these tubes. Boy, you would want to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The antenna comes in over here. Pretty safe bet. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder if this is an audio amplifier tube here after the detector. I'm going to have to take a look at the schematic and find out. Okay, that was pretty easy. There's a diagram, shows you which tube is doing what, and it works like this. First RF, second RF, third RF, fourth RF, fifth RF, detector, and then out. So by pulling this tube out, I basically cut off the signal that's going to the amplifier and the speaker. So I pretty much cut the whole thing off. So now we'll start working our way back tube by tube. We'll pull out the tube just ahead. No, that's not right. Start with the first tube here. Those will either indicate that it's the tube that's causing the trouble, or circuits after that. Okay, so I hear some clicking and popping. We'll leave that tube out. Is it the same? I think it's the same. Sounds like the same. We'll pull the next tube out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next tube. Hopefully this thing doesn't start squealing like crazy. That one came out with a big pop. I didn't really have to tell you that, did I? I'll make sure I put these in the same order. Better hurry up, because whatever it is that's breaking down is leaving soon. I'll try this one out. I can see the element getting just a little hotter over there. She's still making noise. This guy out. Still making noise. It's one tube left. It's got to be this tube. Power down. Immediately, sound gone. Almost immediately. I think it's the tube myself, but it may not be. Okay, so it's still clicking even. Oh, good, excellent. A little bit of clicking with it. Now, how much of this have I been standing in front of the camera? Hopefully not too much. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use the signal tracer. Just rearrange a few things here. Signal tracer, on you go. Now, where to put the ground? Put the ground on the chassis. Oh my gosh, this is so short. This isn't arranged very well. I gotta get all the way over to yonder there. Okay, short leads. I gotta just switch everything right around. Holy smokes. I gotta switch it all around. Ooh. Okay, I'm using up my half hour here. Got this rearranged. Power is okay. Speaker in. Wire's good. Let's see, access to the controls. Volume's turned down. Switch is on. Here we go. Dim lights first. Perfect. Keep crackling. And one tube. This tube has its own transformer winding for its filament. The little word is I was pulling out those tubes and leaving one tube behind that it would get a little higher filament voltage. It probably did as I went. But this guy, his voltage is going to be the same. Pretty much. Okay, not much clicking. Let me put the full ba-ba right away. Okay, next thing. So I'm going to put this, just attach it to the chassis here. Like that. We want to hear this clicking and popping. So I'm going to test either ends of some components. For instance, here's a capacitor. Now don't get confused between that speaker and the one over here on my signal tracer, which is right there. Make sure this is set properly. That'd be a good idea. So it's set to audio, of course. You can hear it. There we go. Watch your ears. Hold it on there. I swear the moment I touched that, the clicking stopped in that speaker. I swear, I swear. Okay, I have to do this with full power. Nope. Nope. Resistor here. Seem to dull some of that crackling, eh? In the big speaker. Maybe not. Other side. Nope. This is really loud, boy. When I hit the spot, we're gonna know it. 2 pins. Probably a heater. That big pop, probably a plate. I wish I could stop that speaker, but nothing from that one. Okay, this pin over here. Oh, this goes to ground. It's probably a discharge. Now, let's try this one here. It's probably the other heater. I'm not hearing anything here. How can this be? How can it be? Somebody's doing this sound. Who is it? What about this big capacitor here? You'd think you'd hear this sound everywhere. How come the crackling went away? No, it's still there. Wow, that was a big... One second here. I have to stop because I think some people have just arrived at my house. No, nobody at the door. That's my robot vacuum vacuuming in the washroom next door, banging against the walls. Okay, but I am expecting people here. So I ran out and left this on too. That's kind of dumb. Hey, where'd the clicking and popping go? Don't go away now. There you are, you little tricky guy. This switch, when I operated a long time ago, this switch here, it made a huge pop. Let's try it. Wow. Wow. Did you see the cone move on that? I don't know if my camera's going to pick it up. Watch this. So it is sending quite a whack. Where's the noise? Can't do anything without the noise. I left the room, the noise left with me. Fixed. Let it warm up long enough, the noise goes away. Really? Is that really what's going on here? I don't think this is the cause of the noise, but it's... I'm going to have to fix this in place properly. Just a matter of dropping a bolt with a nut on the end of it through here. Well, the popping and clicking is gone. How am I going to get it back? I had to turn it off and leave it. Well, I can't do any tracing with this, so that was quite mysterious. What did we find out doing that? Nothing. Oh, son of a gun, there's a resistor right here. An empty tube socket, and I'm just suspicious it's a resistor. Well, that's the only one. Yeah, I think that's the only... not many parts in this guy. Not many parts to be making all that noise. Well, it's gone for now. I'll drop the supply voltage, see if that somehow brings it back on. Doubt it. I think we're stuck now until the set cools off, and I can try this again. I'll have to do that. I just have to let it all cool off. Okay, so I've given it some time, and I'm ready for a rematch on it. Now, maybe a better approach, instead of trying to test the components, although there's one here I missed, is to really try to find this crackly sound at the output of the radio where it's transmitting the audio over to the amplifier. And that's got to be at the end of this big cable. This cable comes couple pieces come off right away to go to here. Phono input. Well, you know, I actually don't know that those wires are coming this way. They could be coming back this way. These cables are complex. Look, there's a lot coming out of here. Oh, there's wires coming out of here, and there's a whole pile coming out of here, some of which are shielded. I'm not sure I can get this onto the camera here. But right here, right behind the tube where you can't see it, out of this big cable comes a shielded cable, and it goes right to this switch. So you got to think that crackling is on this switch heading to the amplifier. If I can't find it here, then it's not in here. It's got to be back in the amplifier. Okay, let's switch on our equipment here. Just letting my signal tracer warm up. Let's just see if I can get a little closer while we're waiting. There we go. Quite a mass of stuff right in this part of the radio. Okay, let's switch on the radio and hope the popping comes. Let me check this first. And we're ready. We are ready. One tube in there. Yeah. Oh, where did that just come from? That's not even switched on. That came out of my signal tracer. Okay, here we go. So this is the restricted power. And we're going to give it full power. Hope we hear some popping. Pop, pop, pop. Come on, you can pop. Pop for me. Huh. So I think that's what's coming out of the radio. Of course, nothing. Turn away up here. Little hum. Well, whatever the problem was, maybe it's welded itself good again, or I gotta let this thing cool off overnight, that type of thing. Of course, it's not even here; it's over there, maybe. What have I done? That I just moved the equipment around, unplugged, replugged the speaker. Didn't unplug and replug this. Just moved the stuff around. Well, I can't stand here waiting for it. It's not happening. Not happening, man. I should reassure myself that this radio. Well, I have to put all the tubes back in. Yeah, why don't we make this radio work just to reassure myself it can. Put all the tubes back in. So I've been sticking the tubes back in. I forgot to turn the set off. So, okay, might as well keep going. I think until I get this one and this one in, there's no signal reaching the detector. So all is quiet. Let's put one in for the. Let's put this one in. So this might liven up the detector a bit. Might be a pop, pop. I would say that was no change. Now there's one more tube here to put in. Once I put this tube in, the whole complement's in. Where's the radio volume? Volume's low. Volume's high now. Turn back low. Last tube in. Almost instantly you can hear the radio. Or something like a radio. There's no antenna on it. So we'll hook up the antenna. Oh. You know what? I'm going to get the loop antenna. We'll bring the loop antenna in and make this work really well. Okay, let's hook it up here. I've got the volume turned right down, so we shouldn't really hear any of this. But okay, that connection. It's a little bit too quiet for my liking. That's a little better. Okay, I'll just tighten this up as best I can anyway. There, go over this way. Good, that's good. That's good. Okay, loop antenna connected. Volume's up. Volume down. That's the volume at minimum. This is one hot receiver. Okay, so let's go to the end where there's radio. Remember, this is a tuned antenna I have it hooked up to now, and I guess it's tuned for the other end of the band. Okay. Can't remember what I was doing with it the other night. I was doing something. Let's tune up that antenna. Hey, where are you? That's kind of odd. That's a little odd. What has happened? So that radio should have really jumped to life there. What has gone wrong? First of all, did I tune it where I think I tuned it? It's tuned right around the area where we expect to find stations. This is definitely connected. This is connected. This is antenna ground. Doesn't matter, it's a loop. See if we can pick up anything here. Volume's very high now. Something funny going on here. Oh. There's definitely something funny going on here. One of these tubes is not tubing. How can I tell? Well, they're all on. Every tube is lit. And you get no signal from the antenna. How can this be? What's going on? Volume up. Full. Really? Come on. Ooh. Something's happened to the antenna? I don't get it. Okay, maybe one, yeah, they're all, well, maybe one of them hasn't made contact, you know, grid or plate or something, even though the heater's going. So we know we put this in, we put that in, and we got sound effects. What about this one? Usually you can hear a little scrapey sound, you know, when you wiggle the tube. Wow. Is it set to phono? Is that what I've done? I'd probably set it to phono. That's probably what I've done. Okay. One switch over. Well, that sounds like phono to me. dead silence. That's the phono input. Have I really got the volume turned up? Full blast. The crackling's gone, and so is the signal. That's not very good. Why? What's going on here? So for sure a signal's making it over there, because putting the tubes in and out, you could hear it on the speaker. The tube order a little different. I'd probably put them in a different order. Shouldn't really make a difference. No, is there something I'm forgetting? Let's go back to radio. Yeah, that's definitely the radio. There can't be any doubt about that. But signal injection. So I'm right on the audio here, output. You expect that to make a little noise. Oh my gosh. Phono. That's ground. That's the signal. I can hear it. You can hear it very, very faintly. Turn this up. So that's my hand. So, okay. So there is some amount of amplification occurring from here. Back to the radio. Oh no, that's the volume. Back to the radio. Hear that? There it is. Should not hear it here. So it sounds like the audio signal is making it into the switch and heading out to the amplifier. It's not making it, and it has this radio sound to it, doesn't it? I mean, I can tune this thing. What has happened that is causing me these headaches now? Okay, let's go on the assumption that there's something funny about my loop antenna. Maybe a wire's broken on it or something. Because you expect that to make a big difference. We'll hook this up to an outdoor antenna. Now, this is where I get just a wee bit nervous here about getting a shock. I'm going to bridge with my hands, you know, this and my antenna thing, so I don't want to touch the metal there. I'm a real chicken about this kind of stuff. Not a sound. So there's nothing getting through. So has a tube gone dead? This was definitely the first tube. We should be able to tap the grid of this guy and get some action out of it. My finger. This is a ground terminal. What's that control? Yeah, maybe one of these rotating controls is causing all that noise and it's come open. If it's come open, how come we can hear this? I'll pull a tube out of here. Way up here. Way up here. Still hear it. Still hear that sound. So it's really not coming from the antenna. Okay, I'm going to try turning this a little bit. Wake it up. It's definitely noisy. But not seem to be having the effect I want. Is there another? Is there another? Wasn't there another rheostat that's in the amplifier? Volume control messed up. It's a two-part volume control. One part raising it, the other part open circuit or something like that. How can that be? Okay, let's inject the signal again into the... Really, the first audio tube is over there. So it's really what comes out of this detector. And it would surely look like some heaters. Wow, this guy's ready to go. I basically injected an antenna into the, I believe, the grid of this tube. And you know, that signal gets there from this guy here. That's what it looks like to me anyway. On this wire. To here. Yeah, it's not really in that. It just passes underneath. Comes around to this tube. To here. Same effect. So we got it to this tube. Now that must be the plate. Ooh, that can't be the plate, can it? There's no capacitor. Oh my gosh. Sometimes in the middle of doing this, I suddenly realize I've been doing something dumb all along, so I'm a little bit prepared for that eventuality here. Actually, I'm always prepared for me to have done something dumb. 200 volts. Show me the plate. Well, never mind that. Wow. Okay. I guess connecting an earth, let's think about this. I've connected an earth ground to this point. The radio misbehaved terribly. Earth ground through the power system. You got me on that. And the ground terminal. Same thing. Well, that's really unexpected. That's what was quieting this radio down all this time. Okay, I'm on an outdoor antenna, which is not going to work well. Let's go back to the loop antenna here. Oh, well, clearly that made a huge difference. For reasons I can't fathom. Okay, loop antenna. Can I get loud? No. We're tuned roughly in the area. I will tune the loop antenna now. So I've got all excited about nothing. Turn the volume up. Maybe that would help. Volume up.
Or down on or to knee specialists, orthopedic surgeons. When people aren't seen soon enough for something that likely needs surgery, it ends up very much diminishing their outcome and their prognosis. And oftentimes, mismanagement. Things are surgical for the knee, they should be done sooner rather than later. Because if they're not, then it creates a lot of complications going forward. Now, we always want to avoid, even Dr. Bergavin and Dr. Gordon want to avoid giving someone surgery if they don't need it. But the reality about the system that we have and about being human is sometimes we do things that unfortunately require surgery. And if you do something that requires surgery, you're best to get in as soon as possible and not be delayed. Most people don't. And also, I think family doctors are great, and I don't want to pick on them, but they're gatekeepers.
So watch. I will tune in one direction. Listen to how loud the radio gets.
Just family doctors could be a walking doctor.
It's actually got loud enough to get a little distorted. Now if I tune back,
If things are mismanaged,
it doesn't get as loud. And this is what is making me think there's some kind of mechanical alignment issue in this radio.
actually done, possibly exacerbate
It's also a distortion.
important things that happen in the knee, that if they happen, that the knee should be operated on sooner rather than
Right there.
later. So what we've done is we've created kind of an algorithm that is just simply done with me over the phone. So if you give me a call and I'm going to go through a set of questions with you,
See, as you tune back, look at it. It's almost gone there at times. It's gone. Where'd it go?
maybe it doesn't matter if
Somehow I got the tuning way off there.
you know you don't need to go see, which is great. Why not just take advantage of call me and see if this is potentially something you qualify for? Because my question can almost screen who's a very likely candidate for surgery and who is not a candidate for surgery. And if you are a likely candidate for surgery, then we're not going to waste any time. There's not going to be any need to go see a family.
So I've turned down the volume. Now on this radio, it's a dual volume control. One part is cutting back the signal from the antenna, and the other part of the volume control is killing something partway through the radio. So I'm going to try to chase it down. Oh, I can only chase down. No, I can chase down the radio signal here. Let me just change my settings. Okay, we want to be on the B scale, and we want to be somewhere around. Where are we doing this? We're somewhere around 600. So I'm going to go right on the antenna and attempt. This is just a radio, by the way, at this point, anyway. Oh, what to do about the ground?
Or even swelling a few hours later, that's not good either. If your knee is locked up or it's locked in a certain position,
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, now turn this down. Put this on the antenna. It's a loop antenna, but I'm not using it as a loop antenna over here. Tuning.
It might just be I was doing something, I felt this weird pop, and then a few days later my knee started to swell up. It feels like it's locking up. Not necessarily. would be a medical emergency, but definitely there's a sense of urgency.
Okay, there it is there.
Those are-
Now we're going to try to follow it up through the radio. So after this tube, let me just get straight. That's what I was going to do before. Which is the plate? Just stand there and let's just stand there. Who is the plate? I am the plate. The guy on the left. Input, output. These are all done the same. Is that really true? Yes, it appears to be true. Okay. Input. Output. Don't hear a thing. Input. Output. Hang on. Okay, turn up the volume. Well, I can certainly hear it coming out of the radio speaker, but nothing coming out of this guy. Did I not tune it right? Let's check again. Output. Kaboomy. Got my arm in the way here. Well. No. That is receiving much stronger at the higher end of the band. The radio itself is set to the lower end of the band. That's kind of a mystery too. Let's go way up. Let's go way up here. This is the last amplifier tube. Okay, and we're going to find plate or grid here. This guy appears to have more. So now you can hear the radio a bit on the tracer. Remember, these are both radios that are tuned. Where's the radio station? Volume down. Oh, jumper. Scared the heck out of me. Try that again. Hang on to your ears. Doesn't want it. Doesn't want it. Let's go right on the output to the amplifier.
Finland just shut over at 1-0. Later on, Canada and the Czech Republic will face off at 1:15. To Halifax, where it's an off-day at the Memorial Cup. Tomorrow in the final. Sports set will have the game. Puck drop just after 7. And earlier this morning, Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime on straight sets to Ben Longhair in the Lyon Open final. You're listening to the Sports at Hotstone on your home of the Raptors, Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
So, no matter what I do, the radio's working okay. How is this done? So just looking at these tubes.
All morning long, gentlemen, varying degrees that the fan base has on how confident they feel about this game tonight. There are a lot of people that have texted us at 5959. They feel super pumped. They think the Raptors are going to get it done tonight. People making jokes about venison and actually eating the deer tonight in game number 6. Well, people are excited. And I understand. Like, having watched these last 3 games and seeing the Raptors play, especially on the defensive end,
Canada's very excited about about the Raptors basketball team.
this Milwaukee Bucks team. The adjustments that they have made have worked out, and the adjustments that the Bucks have made have worked out. Hypotheticals.
There we are.
We touched on it a little bit at the end of the last segment about the Milwaukee Bucks, that if they lose this game tonight and see their season
It's on the
come to
tracer.
an end, it is going to be a
Cut the volume
disappointment.
back.
They were up 2-0 in this series.
Yeah, it just drains the volume right out of the radio and the signal tracer. So that antenna volume control is making it a little tricky for me to... Well, what am I doing anyway? I was going to hunt down that distortion. What distortion?
Not living in Milwaukee and not having I think just looking at it from a
What distortion?
I mean, you got to think it's a successful year for the Milwaukee Bucks. I know they finished with the best record in the NBA. They have probably the guy that's going to get named MVP. But considering that nobody really counted them at the beginning of the season, they were sort of that 4th team. It was Raptors,
Tuning the antenna.
Sixers, and whatever order you want to put it. And then it's Milwaukee.
Yeah, they got Giannis and they made it to the second round.
Last year, but are they ready to take that next step? Like, I'm not sure. And
Okay, that was a little more than expected. Tuning it again.
that shown that they should be in the NBA Finals with the way they played this year, and anything short of that is a disappointment. But I think coming from where they started at the beginning of the season, show, and if they lose tonight, you know, how can you not look at it as a successful season if you're the Milwaukee Bucks?
I think that's the thing. I want to say, when you get your team to the Eastern Conference Finals, I know for every team there will be varying degrees of nuanced expressions of how much they'll be in the disappointment or otherwise, but I feel like the Milwaukee Bucks, and you put it very succinctly when you say that, you know, it was these 3 teams and then also the Bucks, considering they won 60 games, they're number 1 seed overall in the NBA, they have one of the best players under contract for a number of years.
Well, what to make of this particular session here, I went after the Crackle, and it's gone now. It's gone. I think really what's left to do here with the set working this well, it's working great, is do the alignment process, which amounts to neutralizing, adjusting and neutralizing capacitor, and I'm not sure what else in here. There's a trimmer on every one of those tuning stations, if you like, tuning stages. That would be the right word. So there's some things to do. Okay. Anyway, well, that was kind of a go nowhere video, but there you are. That's what happened. What can I tell you? I'll see you on the next video. It might be a couple of days from now before I get back in my shop. So thanks for watching.